Welcome to Youth Corner. I'm Ibrahim Rahman. This is the friendly chat show for the youth, a place to talk about what you do, recognise your achievements, share your experiences and inspiring stories, and discuss topics that are important to you. As always, another exciting guest joins me in the studio today. She's an award-winning student midwife, and she's come all the way down from Cambridge. Let's give a warm welcome to Amira Haque. Welcome to the show, Amira.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And let's talk about midwifery, because that is what you're studying at the moment, and you're doing it at the University of the West of Scotland. So what's midwifery all about?
That's right. It's about promoting a normality and supporting women through pregnancy and postpartum period, like after pregnancy, and giving them the best head start into parenthood.
Fantastic. So what's involved in the course at the moment? You know, what kind of modules have you covered so far?
I'm a first year student, so...
Oh, so you're still very much a baby in the course. And I say that pun intended as well.
Yeah, so I'm like learning about the normality. Everything's normal in first year, so I'm learning about how labour takes place normally in a normal situation, and how to just like handling the babies, what a normal newborn baby looks like, a newborn examination, a normal discharge, a normal antenatal check, that kind of thing. I'm learning all of that right now.
Right. So have you had any sort of practical experience so far in your course?
Yes, lots and
Right.
lots. I'm on placement right now.
Okay. How are you finding the placement so far? What's that been like?
Challenging, really hard. It's 12-hour shifts and it's exhausting.
Wow, that's fun. That's quite amazing. So we just mentioned that you're studying at the University of the West of Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you decide to study all the way up in Scotland as well? Because I mean, you're from Cambridge as well, so that's quite a long way away from home.
I kind of ended up there, but it's kind of good because Glasgow is one of the poorest places. It's got the highest health inequality in Europe, actually. So you get a really good mixture of women, and some women are really deprived, and you get the experience of working with them. Also, my university is UNICEF accredited, which means it's like really pro at breastfeeding. So it's an extra qualification, really. And in Scotland, it's just a really nice environment. There's so many opportunities to travel. It's really cheap. So
Wow.
yeah, it's good.
Sounds like you're really enjoying it in Scotland then. So I mean, how did your family sort of feel about you studying sort of in Scotland as well? You know, what was their sort of reaction to that when you decided to go there?
I don't think they mind. They were like, oh, whether you're 1 hour away or 8 hours away doesn't really make any difference. You're away.
Sure.
So yeah.
But it sounds like midwifery. If we're just looking at the course, so would you say that doing it in Scotland, was that sort of the best place to study that course, or were there other universities that maybe would they have offered different kind of features or?
Yeah, I think where you go makes a difference. I applied to Queen's University in Belfast, and
So that's in Ireland as well. That's another place away from England.
Yeah, I applied there. And the interview went really well, but I just didn't feel the place. I didn't think it was that good, and it wasn't UNICEF accredited. And when I went to my university interview, they were so supportive, and I thought, like, this is the place where I want to study.
Fantastic, and it seems like you're really enjoying it so far. So another 2 more years as well. So, so what kind of modules are you expecting to see over the next 2 years then?
Lots of abnormality, learning how to deal with emergencies, a lot more stuff on like abnormal babies, different kinds of births, and I don't know, just a whole like loads more experience of doing the same thing again and again until it really sticks.
Right, yeah, well, I hope it goes well, so keep that up. Now, let's go a few years back now. Let's go into your education, let's look at the GCSE and A-level sort of period. So when you were doing your GCSEs and A-levels, did you kind of think at the time that, yeah, midwifery, that's what I want to do?
During A-levels, yes. I identified it because I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to change the world, and midwifery is the best way to do it.
Oh, wow, brilliant.
Because it is the pinnacle point of a woman's life, and that's the most motivation she'll ever have to want to change around her life. So if she's smoking, the chance of smoking cessation, better nutrition, all of that to change her life and her family's life at the same time. So that's the best intervention in terms of health, like promotion. So I thought that's the best way to change the world.
Yeah, right when someone else's world begins, really, doesn't it? So right up a very, very important period indeed. So let's talk about volunteering now, because I know you're a very active volunteer. You've done a lot of work with vInspired, and you were a Team V leader. So tell our viewers, what is Team V all about, and how did you become a Team V leader?
Team V was a program run by vInspired. Now they've stopped it because of funding.
Oh,
But,
okay. When
yeah.
did they stop that then? So that must have been quite recently then, was it?
Yeah,
Right,
like
okay.
last year they stopped it. But it was a really
Sure.
good program. And we ran 3 campaigns, and we recruited loads of volunteers around Cambridge, and we tackled different social issues, and we projected it in the community and did different projects, loads of different like engagement projects, like migration, challenging perceptions of migration, sustainability, and healthy relationships.
Right. So what would you say was your favourite kind of project that you did during your time as Team V leader?
I think my favourite project was the final one because it was the most successful, the migration campaign. But
In what way was it successful?
like the engagement, the most people, I think most people engage with that campaign than any other campaign. But I also really liked the healthy relationships campaign because it was so clever. It was a really clever campaign. It was about identifying the first signs of unhealthy relationships, like someone wanting to hold hands with you all the time. You wouldn't kind of think that, but you're like identifying this very first a few key signs that the relationship you're entering is unhealthy, and I think that's really important to educate people on. So it's a really good campaign, especially because 1 in 5 women in the UK go through domestic violence. So I think it's a really important one.
Sure. So it seems like it had quite a big impact on your life, like particularly going forward as well. I mean, what kind of skills would you say you gained from doing your leadership program with Team V?
Confidence, so much confidence, and belief, self-belief, and just knowing that I can do stuff that like I wouldn't have otherwise done.
So it certainly had a big impact on you then, you'd say.
Yeah,
Right.
Definitely. And those around me as well, like you can motivate other people to do things, and you can really inspire other people, and that's what it's taught me.
Fantastic. So, but also your work, so the work that you did with Team V, and then going forward, you completed the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award as well. You did that in 2015. And again, another fantastic achievement there. So, how did you get into doing the Duke of Edinburgh's Award? Because from what I understand, that's quite challenging.
Oh, it was so hard. It was probably the hardest thing I've done in my life, except living away from home.
Okay.
It was. I didn't really want to do it at the beginning. Actually, I had all the 3 sections: the volunteering, the skills, and the sports. So I was going to do all of that anyway.
Okay.
And then I kind of decided to just pick up the award because I was doing those things anyway, and that would just involve the expedition. That expedition was so hard. It was
let's
hard.
let's just backtrack just a little bit. So let's just tell our viewers what exactly is the Duke of Edinburgh Award. Because obviously you did the Gold Award, but I'm assuming is there a silver and bronze as well? All right. So is that the kind of the steps that you took? Did you start off doing bronze and then you worked up to silver and then you went up to gold?
No, I jumped straight to gold.
Oh right. Okay. So what are the different steps then? So let's say someone wants to do bronze to begin with. Why would they? So essentially, why did you jump to gold and not do the other 2?
Because I think there's an age limit where you do it.
Right.
And from 16 you qualify for gold. You would start working on the gold, and it just made sense to do it at the time. So yeah, I just did it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Sounds really interesting. So, how did you feel when you finished it?
Really, really good, but the paperwork was tedious. It was still so much. But after
What kind of paperwork was that then? Was that like sort of admin work and things, or was it sort of...
document every single session you've been to, get it signed off by every single instructor you had, get comments, do a presentation at the end for what you did, and just making sure your book is completely filled out so it's ready with all the evidence. You need to have photos, anything, comments, and it was hard collecting that.
Yeah, that's quite time consuming. I remember when I was doing my degree and when we had to do logbooks as well, and we have to write every little thing that you do.
Yes.
It's tedious, but then it's worth it in the end, isn't it? It gets you the prize that you were after, and ultimately that's what you've gone and achieved. So well done there. So for our younger viewers watching, why would they want to pursue doing the Duke of Edinburgh Award? I mean, obviously you've gained some skills from that. It's about what the youth can also look to expect as well.
I think the Gold Duke Edinburgh Award is a really, really good award. Like, it changes you, it gives you confidence, it gives you a really strong team building skills because you're literally stuck in a tent with with three people for me, three people for 5 days, and you're walking with them and you're tired, you're exhausted, you're thirsty, and it just you have to develop patience, you have to develop team working skills, and it really challenges you like physically, so and mentally. You have to really, really like want to do it and you think you can't do it, but you just end up doing it somehow, and it's just amazing to see yourself do something like that.
Definitely. But and also in 2015 you won the Young Person of the Year award in Cambridgeshire as well. So again, congratulations for that. How on earth did you manage to achieve that? That sounds quite big.
I didn't even expect it.
I mean, in the county, I mean, that's quite a big title to receive there. I mean, what did they give you the award for? What was that recognising exactly?
That was mainly to do the work, Team B work, but also the Gold Duke altogether, like a combination.
Right.
I think it was, and also the organisation that I started building up on my gap year, Active Cambridge, and it was about body image, the campaign that I was working on, and they really liked the concept of like love yourself, about loving your own body and your own image, and they really liked that, and they believed that was the future of the youth. Like that's how you should promote selves, because body image is a big issue that is deterring the youth right now.
Right. Definitely. And on that note, we are sort of coming towards the end of the show now, but we are coming to a section where we give advice to the youth. So with what you've been learning towards regarding midwifery, and then also the work you've done in volunteering as well, what advice would you give to our younger viewers?
Always be kind to yourself. Never ever like make yourself feel bad or beat yourself up or get yourself into a negative thought process. Always look on the positives and evaluate on a positive point of view as well as a negative, because you can't just have negative, you just beat yourself up and like destroy all your confidence, which is really important for you to progress.
Absolutely. So in terms of, so if we're looking at career development as well, so looking at jobs, what kind of things need to be on the CV, like particularly with what you've been doing? So some of the things that you've already mentioned, if you just want to summarise that again for us.
It's really, really for midwifery.
Yeah, and with volunteering as well. So, yeah.
Oh
yeah, I want to beat myself up now. But yeah, no. In terms of let's go with midwifery first. So, what kind of things would someone need to put on the CV in order for them to get a job in midwifery?
Okay, midwifery is really challenging and competitive to get into right now. So you need to have clinical experience. So either work as a healthcare assistant or a breast support worker, or something that is healthcare, like something to do with healthcare. Even working in a care home would be like a good starting point, because you really need that experience to really like care for someone.
So it certainly looks like healthcare is the main point of that is the main focus, really, isn't it?
You really need to develop those skills of taking blood pressures, temperatures, talking to patients, being comfortable with bodily fluids. If you overcome those few things at the beginning, then you'll later on become a more confident practitioner and stuff.
Brilliant. Well, I have to say I've really enjoyed listening to your experiences in midwifery so far, as a student, of course, and also with the work you've done as a volunteer. So many thanks, Amira Haque, for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure having you. So thanks again. So yeah, as I've just mentioned, we've come to the end of the show. Once again, thanks to Amira Haque for joining us here today at the Youth Corner. If you'd like to get in touch, if you want to be a guest on the show, remember you can contact youthcorner@lb24.tv. Until next time, I've been Ibrahim Rahman. It's goodbye for now.